Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the Empowering Pastors and Leaders training. I believe that today we are going to start covering a topic, and I mean start covering. I think I'm hoping to get through it, but I'm not sure if we will, because I believe this topic is one that I've seen many catastrophic failures at, and that is personal challenges. You know, many people try to be something at work or as a leader that they're not personally. And the challenge with that is that you can only sustain that for a period of time. A long-term sustaining of character and who you are outside and who you portray, who you are inside that you portray differently outside, literally collide after a period of time. You can only fake it for so long. And so today I want to start talking about personal challenges that actually make you a person of strength, make you a person that's going to be able to be sustainable. We talked a few weeks ago about leaders that should not have a mindset of that shooting star, but we must be sustainable through literally decades. And decades are important. There aren't a lot of leaders that last long term. In fact, truthfully, in ministry, the statistics are horrific. Only 5% of pastors who begin in ministry end in ministry. That means, 5%. That means 95% of people that start in the ministry do not end in the ministry. And literally, it comes down to this topic. It comes down to the personal challenges that either will enhance us or destroy us. They'll either build our leadership quotient or destroy our leadership quotient. And so it comes down to not the exterior environment that are going to either make or break you for long-term sustainable leadership, but actually it's the internal issues and how you deal with personal challenges that are either going to make you strong or slowly erode away your capability of having legacy go. Legacy is important. Legacy is something that you have to add to somebody else. True leadership is never building you only, but the purpose for building you is to create a legacy to where generations past your lifetime, you will still be remembered. And your skills and your capabilities will have impacted beyond. If that is not happening in your life, then I want you to know that you really are just that shooting star. And for myself, and for this church and for this team, we are generational leaders. We cannot ever allow ourselves to think short term. We must be long-term mindset people. So success, that definition of it is to do the will of God in your life. And if you do the will of God, true vision, we know that the Bible talks about vision, that where there is no vision, my people perish. And if you have a vision but don't write down the vision, then ultimately no one's going to be able to run with it. So you can have vision and you can be truly called to long-term leadership, but still never accomplish it. How many people have a call but never fulfill it? There are probably far more than that do. So the issue isn't the call. The issue is, can you complete the call? The issue isn't that you can be a good leader in a short sustaining sprint. The issue is, can you be a leader that people will look back upon decades later and say, they were constant, they were consistent, they were set forth, and I want to pattern my life after them. Now, that is big, because Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. So the issue is, do you have somebody in your life that you want to follow after? Number two, the issue is anybody going to want to follow after you? So these are issues that are not short-term but long-term. And success, really, I'm talking like success personally and in ministry or in your leadership and in your business, they are literally rack and pinion on, can you get through personal challenges? Personal challenges are the ones that nobody sees. The ones you're not talking about behind the pulpit. These are the ones that happen in secret. Can you get through these personal challenges that are going to impact the rest of your life? Most don't. Most then start playing the blame game. Most, at that point, they retract, they hide, they become like, my mind immediately goes to pictures. I am not a contractor, but I do have a measuring tape. And when I'm done measuring, and how I measure is this, 32 and 3 dashes. That's really bad, but that's, if you don't even know that much, you're in worse shape than I am. My dad used to say, what's the measurement? That's 26 and 5 dashes. What do you mean 5 dashes? I said 5 dashes. He says that's called 5/8. I said, oh. But I will tell you, when I'm done measuring, what I do is I flick the button and it goes, it sucks back into itself. A lot of people, because of personal challenges, suck back into themselves and they never become measurable. Just because you got a tape doesn't mean you're going to be measurable. Just because you're a tape don't mean you're going to add to anybody's life by being able to help them go to their next length. It all does touch personal challenges. So personal challenges, I always am amused about, because some people portray that through their personal challenges, they've become successful through them. But a personal challenge that is genuinely succeeded or successfully gone through is that you've been able to acquire the lessons that were necessary and now have applied them. Making it through a personal challenge is not considered success. Making it through personal challenges and taking the lessons learned through them and now applying them is success. What a lot of people do that make them unsuccessful is they've gone through the personal challenge, and instead of acquiring the successful traits to propel them forward, they have now adhered to the negative experience and now have allowed that to be what motivates them in their actions and reactions. So how we are developed is not determined by our experience, but determined through our personal challenge and our personal experience of how we're going to take the lessons that are positive, maybe to never repeat them, or what I've learned to move me forward to help other people and myself become a stronger human. So character is something that is everything. You can have leadership skills, but no character. There are a lot of people with no character. They don't last. And whether you like it or not, character is developed through your personal challenges. If you are who you are today is because you've made it this far by learning your personal challenges. But who you'll be tomorrow is also determined by that. Because you can have a phenomenal opportunity, but not have gone through a personal challenge well, and you will dismiss that opportunity because you are living off your past experience and your failure of learning how to learn from your past challenge. So everything of who we are is important. And you are who you are because of your personal challenges. How character is developed for the next level is the first thing you must do is learn how to purge. Purging is very important in the principle of taking the personal challenge that you've gone through and purging the lessons that will destroy you, but adhering to the principles that will propel you. What are the qualities of your last personal challenge? And, we have them every day. Some are big, some are small. Many times it's the little foxes that ruin the vine. But what is the lesson you went through yesterday, the personal challenge you went through yesterday, that you gleaned from? Or did you just purge the whole lesson? The problem with purging a whole lesson is that now you got to go back to school again. I don't mind learning something once. I don't want to have to learn the same thing 20 times. That's non-intelligent. So the issue on your personal challenge is taking that challenge and saying, what are the principles I need to adhere to, and what are the principles I need to purge? And if you're not even going to go there, then you're going back to school again. Stop being a person that constantly has to go back to the same school. Failing a class does not, listen, you can have somebody with enough intelligence so they could well pass a class, but have to take it 4 times. This has nothing to do with intelligence. This has to do with a choice to empower yourself of how not to have to learn that lesson again. And not everybody wants to do that. We all know people in our lives that are doing the same stupid stuff after 20 years. And they get mad at the world because the world is mean to them because they can't seem to accelerate. It's nothing to do with the world. You've chosen not to allow your character to be built. And whether you like it or not, character is built through stress. Character is built through problems. Character is built, listen, good character, but there is also bad character. Your character is being built whether you like it or not, and the building of your character has nothing to do with your challenge. It has to do with what are you going to do with the lessons of the challenge. And it will either build good character or bad character, and your character is what sustains you. I knew of an individual who had bad character. And they looked good for about 15 years. But their bad character came back. Why? Because it was never actually taken care of. They never actually took that personal challenge of opportunity, negative and positive, and literally learned from that lesson. They actually just tried to hide their bad character. You cannot hide your bad character for the rest of your life. It will come back out. And when it does, it will destroy you. Bad character always dismembers your opportunities for your future. It's not only your bad character, but sometimes, and it comes back down to it, sometimes it's the bad character of being around people that have bad character. Who you hang with is going to also tag your character. We had a church one time ask us to rent the building. My answer was, no. And they said, well, that's not real Christian-like. I said, no, the problem is if you're going to meet here, then everybody who is around is going to think that we agree with what you teach. And we don't agree with what you teach. So therefore, I don't want to be around that because your character now becomes my character because now we're attached. Bad company corrupts good morals. Your character is something you have got to protect your character. And I'm not talking what people see. I'm talking what people don't see. Now, just because you do something stupid doesn't mean you have bad character. Bad character is the equation of continuation of a habit or activity or philosophy or sin that now has become part of the fiber of your clothing. And that becomes who you are. Right now, you're watching on, and again, I'm not making decisions. I'm not making statements in the aspect of decisionaries. But there are people that are now being questioned who have astronomical names in Christianity. And their character has now come under fire. Well, why? Because they chose to hang with people who have bad character. And that isn't a new thing. So that shows there is a character issue about them wanting to be around people who have bad character. Jesus ate with sinners, but he didn't hang out with sinners. He ate with sinners to get the message in them, but his character was that he could not be friends with those people because his character was a clash to their character. So here we are. There are things you've got to purge in your life. Whether it be your thoughts, whether it be activities, whether it be sin, no matter what it is, these personal challenges that you are facing now bring you to a reality of what can I keep and what can I not keep, so that I am not a shooting star gone in 5 years, made a poof of smoke and nobody's going to ever remember me? Or am I going to be this person after 40, 50 years of ministry, my name is mentioned and everybody says, Billy Graham, Tommy Reed up in Buffalo, Tommy Barnett out in Phoenix. Or you got 20 years under your belt and you destroyed your character that you took 30 years to build in 30 minutes. Listen, that destruction was not generated by the 30 minutes. That destruction was generated by the bad character that you've hidden for 30 years. So what is it in your life that you've got to purge? What is it in your life that you've got to address? What is it in your life, your character, that is going to cause quandary in your future? What is that? And if you don't identify it, then you can't be mad when it bites you. If you're unwilling to address it, then you can't be angry when it destroys you. You can't be mad at anybody but you. Success and failure falls on the horizon and the sunset of the leader, not on anybody else. I know you've heard me give the example before, but if you have a millionaire and they lose it all, that's no big deal to them. Why? Because they learned how to do it the first time. They can regenerate it the second time. But you get somebody who's a millionaire because of the lottery, they'll lose it all by an average by 5 years and be poorer than they were before they won the lottery. What's the difference? Character. Personal challenges. Lessons learned. Skills developed. Longevity is your goal. God planned you for longevity. Success, long term. But the determination of that is not God. It's what are you going to do with these personal challenges? How do you purge? Personal trials and tribulations of life. Hard times. Somebody said to me, well, I've never gone through anything difficult. Well, you don't even know who you are yet. Because until you squeeze the orange, you can't get any juice out. And then when you take an orange, there are different levels of squeezing and different levels of flavor. Number one, you have the skin. Leave the skin on. Has anybody ever eaten an orange peel? I like to smell orange peels, on the wood stove. They smell good, or boil them. They smell good. They have an aroma. But I'm not going to eat them. You peel the orange, and then you have the orange. Well, that's nice. You can bite that. That's nice. But we usually take it and open it up. And when you open it up, there are multiple slices within the orange. And then you open the orange slice, and inside of that is where the actual juice is. Not in that slice, but it's in an encapsulation. Every personal challenge has to bring you to the capsule that nobody even recognizes is there. But that's where the juice is held. And until you're willing to do that, that only comes through stomping. That only comes through trial. That only comes through hardship. That only comes when bad situations are coming into your life. Character is never developed in times of peace. Character is developed in times of hardship. You can hide it, but you will come out someday. You will show your real colors. I find that peace, where character is usually not developed, is a great hiding place for a while, but the greatest revealer for long term. Once you start to rest, the real you comes out. And once the real you comes out, your character is now manifest. One of my favorite ones was this guy. He worked at Corning. He made money. One day he came to Bible study and he was so excited to give a testimony. He said, I watched a man walk out of Walmart, and a $100 bill fell on the ground, and I just sat against my car and said, Lord, if that's you dropping that $100 for me, then don't let him turn back and see it. He got in his car, picked up the $100 bill, put it in his pocket, and came and gave a testimony. We call that stealing. That's called bad character. You have got to embrace your difficult times. You have got to embrace them and then evaluate them, purge the negative out of them, and adhere to the positive that will propel you to be a person that in 50 years someone's going to remember your name, and they're not going to remember your fall. They're going to remember your stand. But that is your hard times, which nobody likes hard times. We all want peace. We all want ease. Ease is not your friend. Ease is your enemy. Because ease will not allow you to develop your character. You must embrace commotion. You must embrace the challenges of your character. Just Sunday, getting ready to get up and preach the new theme, and somebody makes a post on my page. We're not talking like posted it out in the dark web or posted it out on Elmira is Crazy. They posted it on my personal page. You are a virus to the 607 area code. Everybody hates you and wants to dismember your congregation. I pray that everybody in your church gets cancer and dies. Yeah, I didn't use it all. And then he said, and stop harming children. And I used another word there. I left that one up till this morning. And it was like, What? But you see, it's not that somebody makes an accusation. It's whether or not your character allows it to stick. If those things were true, then it would mean something. But your character is going to qualify whether or not someone's accusation is going to actually have something to hang on. And your personal challenges of money, your personal challenges in relationships, your personal challenges in integrity, your personal challenges in ethic, they are what is going to either kill you or qualify you. And you can fake it, even for a while, but the real you is coming out. And so we've got to ask ourselves some basic questions. What am I going to do with what I've got? What am I going to do with the character that I possess? What am I going to do when all of a sudden, publicly, somebody is making accusations that can stick? Because you did not take care of business in the quiet. A great man of God taught a lesson one time, and he said, the reason that Moses was put in the backside of the desert for 40 years was because he was supposed to be working out his issues, which he never did. And the same issue that drove him into the desert, his bad temper, is the same issue that kept him out of the promised land. Because he never dealt in private with his personal challenges and developed his character that could have sustained him into the promise. Just because you're promised doesn't mean you're going to partake. And if you partake of the promise, but have never purged through personal challenges your character, then you might make it, but only for a wee tot of time. And then you will really be you. And then Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horsemen and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. How many leaders are Humpty Dumpty? All because of character. They chose not to purge and learn from their personal challenges. And all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. We'll continue this next week. Thank you so much for watching. I want to encourage you, if you have not yet registered for the Empowering Pastors and Leaders Summit in March, if you will go to my website, michealspencerministries.com, we'd love to have you register and be with us. We have Chris Durso going to be with us, Bishop Rick Thomas is going to be with us, and myself, and we're working on the finality of timing, but we have a business person's, it's going to be a panel. And so we have people that are worth multi-millions of dollars that have been very successful in business that are going to be on that panel. And we'd love to have the business people come and be able to ask questions and generate conversation to be able to accelerate your business, your ministry, your calling, your leadership to the next level. So please go to my website, michealspencerministries.com, and register for the Empower Pastors Summit, which is in the month of March of 2024. I'll meet you there.
Thank you for tuning in to Empowering Pastors and Leaders with Dr. Micheal Spencer. If you're looking for helpful, life-changing, and empowering resources, Dr. Micheal Spencer's books are available here. Just click on the link below and get your copies today. Don't wait. These resources will bring about the change and success you've been looking for. If you'd like to know more about empowering pastors and leaders, please visit michealspencerministries.com. Also, if you'd like to become a partner with Empowering Pastors and Leaders, sign up online for the opportunity to do so. Thank you in advance for your financial support to help us reach into the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and Africa, and the different parts of the world. Empowering Pastors and Leaders will equip you to transform your personal life, ministry, or business to become the best leader God designed for you to be. Invest in yourself today and be the most effective leader you've ever been.